Hello, symbol lovers. This time around, I thought I'd show you how to use the 5 principles for understanding the symbols of Hieronymus Bosch, how you can apply them to other symbols. And this time around, I thought I'd give the once-over to the pyramid on the back of the dollar. The inscription at the top reads Annuit Coites. It means approved or anointed undertaking or concept. The inscription at the bottom means New World Order, and the Roman numerals mean 1776. Usually interpreted to mean that this is the foundation of America. The 13 layers on the pyramid are the 13 colonies, but they knew there was more great things to come. It was an unfinished work, and that's one interpretation of it. Okay, but that's not our interpretation necessarily, because our next step is to read the Bible. So what does the Bible say about pyramids? And this actually brings us down to notice the negative. The Bible is supposed to be an account of the Jewish people who are in Egypt for hundreds of years, yet their so-called history manages not to mention the pyramids of Egypt in any way, shape, or form, as if they didn't exist. So one of the things you're supposed to learn from reading the Bible and looking at this symbol is this is not a biblical symbol. This is a non-biblical symbol. In the world of symbolism, there's a dividing point. So they've chosen a non-biblical symbol. And it's an Egyptian symbol, which is something else you would pick up from reading the Bible. And that is a lot of magical things happened in the land of Egypt. You had that parting of the Red Sea, the plagues, the staffs that turned into snakes, all that magical stuff. And because one of our prime principles is that there is no such thing as magic, that tells you all that stuff was a lie. That was a deception. So an Egyptian symbol is a symbol of deception. Does this look deceptive? It looks pretty spooky. You're pretty sure this is kind of a spooky symbol. But because we know there is no such thing as magic, we know it's not magic, that it's actually a trick. It's manipulation. Next, we'll do the symbol of light. If we were using the Bible, if this were a biblical symbol, we would say that the light was the teachings of Jesus, for instance. That would kind of be the go-to. Light is truth. Jesus says, I am the light, the way. It's a guide. You put it on the shelf so it can light the whole room. So it's a positive that way. But what it is truth, basically. And it's the truth that guides us. It's the truth will set you free. But in this case, because there's sinister overtones, we can also just define it as information, that the information, the truth, is being controlled by someone at the top of the pyramid. And all symbols can be either positive, neutral, or negative. And so we have to decide if this is going to be a positive, is this meant to be a positive symbol or a neutral symbol, or like just about things in general? Or is it a negative symbol? Is it meant to convey an idea of fear and power and so forth? Now we're going to figure out the eye by going back to the idea that it is what it is. So what is it? How many sides has a 4-sided pyramid? 7. There are four sides. There's a bottom, but there's also an inside and an outside. We are on the outside. The eye, with all the light, is staring at us from the inside. That person is an insider. We are outsiders. So it is what it is. So what is a pyramid? Well, sure, it's stability and the pyramids are long lasting, but they're also famously built by slave labor. And so we have like 90% of the pyramid are just blocks, just stone. It's only that upper 10% that seems to have some bit of humanity and that's enjoying the light and controls the light. And so, like I say, there's a lot of sinister overtones to this whole thing. Also, you have to think of the pyramid from the point of view of the pyramid. This is the pyramid looking out at us. This is the sign of power. So looking at it from that point of view, we see the dark side of the pyramid is on the right side. And the right side is kind of the primary active side. The left side is supportive, and the left side, we can't even see that side of the pyramid because they've gone out of their way to show us that it's a four-sided pyramid with a dark side. Again, notice what's missing. That inscription across the top that says Anointed Enterprise. It doesn't say that this is a God-anointed enterprise. It's left the deity off. Once again, reinforcing the idea that this is a non-biblical and slightly hostile symbol in general. Also note there's nothing symbolic about this eye. The artist has gone out of his way to let you know this is a very human eye. This isn't a magical eye of God. This is a human eye, indicating human intelligence. So now we'll do follow the money. The old joke is, in God we trust, all others pay cash. But think about that line, in God we trust, and notice the negative. They trust God, and just as in the joke, they don't trust the rest of us. In God we trust, not you. And of course, this is stamped right on our money. So it could be seen as the insider's way of telling all their confederates on the outside that yes, we are here, we are inside, and we are controlling things. And everyone has their trust in us because we control the money. They have taken God's place at the top of the pyramid. When you say, in God we trust, you are actually trusting them. Also, money, God, power are also symbolized by light. So all those ideas are contained in the light shining from the top of the pyramid. They are controlling the light. That is God, money, and power. The numerals across the bottom say 1776, and there's 13 tiers to the pyramid that are said to represent the 13 colonies. So you could certainly, if you wanted to, the symbol invites you to interpret this whole thing as this is our great unfinished democracy, but it's being guided by the wisdom from above, if nothing else. And so it's a shining symbol of patriotism. But it could just as easily be a symbol of commerce, a pyramid system, unfettered free market, as well as being a conspiracy by a small cabal of people in the upper 10%, maybe even the 1% that are controlling our information and are enslaving us with their selective use of truth. And so that's kind of the way I would interpret it, because of all its, well, it's anti-biblical and slightly sinister overtones to all the symbols they chose to use, and they didn't put any other symbols in there to soften it. So that's your other clue. Once again, you're looking for the negative. And anyway, that's how you'd use the 5 principles of understanding the symbols of Hieronymus Bosch to explore the pyramid on the dollar bill. Anyway, I'm working on a book about the symbols of Hieronymus Bosch, and this business with the dollar bill just happened to come up. So it's kind of a leftover idea. But let me just add a few notes. This design was put together by a committee, and it's probably all benign and well-meaning and patriotic. And my point here is just to show you how the 5 principles can be used to explore various symbols. I don't think I'm actually that far wrong in my analysis, but it can't be proven definitively, that's all. But you can definitely go a ways to understand different symbols, but especially the symbols of Hieronymus Bosch, by applying these principles. With that disclaimer in mind, we can try one last time to read this symbol. It would go something like, "We came to this wilderness. It was nothing when we got here. We organized it along ancient lines. We organized it as a pyramid. We are at the top of the pyramid. We are guiding and dominating all below us. We are like the pharaohs of old. We are immortal. We have replaced God. We dominate all we survey. We are immovable." If anybody asked me my opinion, I would say this is an image of the dominance of corporate America. That is, America was founded to be dominated by corporations. That is their anointed enterprise, and that is why we must trust them just as if they were God. And these are just some of the disturbing thoughts you'll be entertaining once you begin understanding the symbols of Hieronymus Bosch. As always, thanks for watching.